Hey guys, you have to excuse my lethargy. I'm just, it's one of those states that kind of tends to happen to me at the moment, and I would say happen, but it's one of those things that I'm sort of currently going through processing, whatever it is. And I'm not going to talk about that in this video. What I am going to talk about is what happened yesterday. So I think I might describe this in another video. What happens to me, I usually, before I go to work, I usually get like a real kind of sense of I don't want to go to work. I'm sick of it. It makes me tired. Lots of complaining going on, lots of emotions, lots of feelings, and this sense of feeling really like sort of unsafeness, lack of security, unpredictability, and just not, in some respects, feeling safe in that environment, if that makes sense. There's good reason for that, and that is because often in that environment, I am. It feels like it's expected of me to really put myself in a position where I'm not taking care of my own needs. I'm not making sure that I'm okay, and maybe I'm not making sure I'm keeping myself hydrated. I'm outputting more of myself than I have to give, if that makes sense. More energy. So I'm putting more energy in, I'm putting all my mental energies going into that space. You know, I'm really kind of I'm sacrificing myself for the sake of that job and keeping other people happy, right? And so this response to work goes, it happens virtually every time I go to work at the moment. And so really, you know, I'd been sort of busy all day. I was doing stuff with regards to with my business and stuff, and various other things that I have going. I didn't really have a great deal of time for rest, so it kind of started before I went to work. But often it will, you know, it will sort of, if I know I've got to go to work, maybe I've had maybe a day off or so. If I know I've got to go to work, it's then worse. And so it got to that point where I was in the car, I started feeling really ill. I started to get, sometimes what happens to me is I start to get really, really pissed off, angry, frustrated. I'm tired, I just want to sleep. You know, when I get into that low state, it kind of really gets me into a space where I just don't want to do anything at all. This is the state I was in before I went to work. And common practice for me is to sort of try and hold that anger in, because I don't deal with anger very well. I don't like being angry. I kind of feel that it's unnecessary for me to get angry at times. And so I try and hold that in. And of course, you know, when you try and hold any emotion in, it's like a pressure cooker waiting to blow. It's, you know, at some point it's going to squirt out in some way. Maybe you say something nasty to somebody, or maybe you even end up throwing something or whatever. So anyways, got into work, and I was feeling pissed off. I didn't want to be in there. I knew that I was going to have to, you know, output more than I had to give, if that makes sense. And so I started to work, and two of our ovens are down at work, so we've got 4 ovens. This particular job, it makes it hard because you've got to do everything in a set time frame, and if any piece of equipment are down, it makes it really difficult, right? So that's the brief story of that. So I was doing this stuff, and I was noticing myself. I was starting to get more and more angry. I started to get more and more pissed off, getting frustrated. And the last straw was I dropped a tray of baguettes that I had to bake, which frustrated me because obviously that's waste, and that irritates me. I don't know, it irritates me. Let's put it that way. So I got frustrated. I threw in other trays. I just, you know, I was proper like, and then I took a look at myself. I thought, I'm getting really angry, and you know, I just realised that this is not the type. This is not who I want to be. I don't want to be a person that gets angry all the time and starts taking it on other people. And of course, it's funny because this whole pattern continued on, and I noticed all these like this dialogue going on in my head. You know, where I've been feeling vulnerable. You know, it was almost like, in a sense, what was happening is that I was turning my environment into the enemy. more and more into the enemy. And then I was, starting to pick on people who, and attack them in my mind, who hadn't even done anything wrong. They'd not said anything to me. They'd not given me any response that would even really, it would even really cause me to think that they were against me. But this is kind of what I want to get at as well, because in general, this can be what happens in the what I call the personal mind now. If there isn't a problem, it will create one, and I personally believe that we create all our own stuff, our own issues. Now, the way that they're created is a different story, but we can choose in any moment to either continue to create those problems, or we can choose to find a different solution to those problems, if that makes sense. So anyways, that aside, that was what was happening, and I noticed this was happening, and this has been happening quite a bit over the past couple of weeks, if I'm totally honest. It's not something that has been happening just now. It's been a build-up of pressure over a couple of weeks, even months. It's all kind of related to the time thing, and it's just everything's related, and so it's part of the thing that I'm wanting to transcend or get through, if that makes sense. So yeah, it's just really interesting how, the main point I think really for me here is that it was just really interesting that for the first time I was able to, not the first time maybe, but the first time more conscious this time around of what happened and why and what I was doing, and I was able to turn that around, because and actually look at it and go, well, actually, as a matter of fact, this person hasn't done anything to me, or these people haven't done anything to me at all, my work colleagues. They've not implied that I've been doing anything wrong. That's purely what I've inputted myself into the situation, in order to, what it feels like it's in order to validate my anger about what's happening in that particular environment. So it's just really interesting, and so I thought I'd share a video on it. But yeah, anyway, that's it, guys. That's what happened yesterday, and at some point I'm hoping that I'll be able to get some kind of structure to my videos. This really is purely about what's going on for me during my day, how I'm dealing with things, what I'm putting in to help me with what's happening in my life, my issues, what's working, what's not working. And so, yeah, at some point there will be, there's rather a lot going on at the moment. I'm trying to, again, it's the time demons. There's rather a lot going on at the moment, and so it's a little difficult for me to get on here and actually really put some input on into this channel. But I will try my absolute best to post video each day if I can. Yeah, and like I said before, you're welcome if there's something that's clear enough for you to want to understand, or maybe you feel like you want to comment on or have a question about it, then put it in the comments. And if you like my content, then by all means subscribe to my channel, and that would be great. I will definitely try and get into the comments. It's something that I've been sort of out of a lot, because I would like to sort of talk with you guys and so on and so forth, and cool. So take it easy, guys, and I will speak to you very soon.